Welcome to an all-new episode of the No Rules Podcast. I'm Aaron Hilton, as always, joined by my main man, Malik Smith. Malik, you got something on your head or something? You all right?
I'm doing fantastic, my man. How you doing?
I'm in Mansion and Benzes. You know, I love to be right, and I told you it was going to happen. And in light of recent events, obviously we could not have a Knicks Clear Out podcast without the unofficial voice of the New York Knicks. It's not Mike Breen. We'll call him Black Mike Breen here. You know what I mean? The voice of the young people, MC extraordinaire, a
Yes, sir.
former ESPN employee, ex-Connor, as they so lovingly like to call us. He's slowly cascading his things across the screen as we speak. The indelible, the incomparable Mr. Yaw Geez. Yaw, welcome to the
Appreciate you,
show, my
man.
dog.
Appreciate you having me on, man. It's good to be back with you guys, man. It's been a while. I think I want to say the last time I was on here, and we'll do some research as far as when it was, but I believe it was the Shiggy dance.
I think it was.
From
Kiki, if you love me, joint. Yeah, from the pandemic, from the panty, bro.
What a time.
Bro, put Shiggy on the map. That's a 15 minutes of fame. He squeezed every bit of life out of that 15 minutes, though.
hey, listen, props to him. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like, he's not as in the limelight as he was, but for the moment, he was the biggest. He was the hottest thing smoking on the internet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was like back in the pandemic when like niggas was just on the camera being silly, and he,
capitalized without
what I'm
question.
saying? He capitalized on that moment. Unfortunately, it was a flash in the pan type of thing, and they into like the Kai Cenat type shit now, where like it's more produced silliness and shit. But no, shout out to Shig, man. I think he was in the music video too, so
He was.
he
He
lived
was.
forever. He lived forever. He good. But yeah, I mean, it's no secret. So last week, if y'all were listening, and I hope that you were, I told our Knicks fan friend here, Malik, what was gonna happen. I told him that Game 5 was just a typical letdown game. It was one of those Celtics weren't going to do that on their home floor. Knicks is going to take care of it. I didn't see a 20-something point win coming. I didn't see that. I thought it was going to be more competitive. That's great. I mean,
Excuse me, 38.
38.
yikes.
Put some
That's
respect on
That's a lot. I didn't see that coming. Personally, I thought that the Celtics would have a little bit more pride on the way out. But I didn't think that you would have to really sweat it at all. I thought it would be a comfortable like 5 to 7 point game where it was never really in question, and maybe a couple of late garbage buckets. But y'all really handled business in the Garden, man. Y'all, how does it feel, man? Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since the early 2000s.
Man, bro. To be honest, I didn't know what to feel that day. I tell people all the time, like the day, the leading up to the day, I didn't like, it was, 3-2. I didn't watch any Nick content the whole day purposely because I was so focused. One of those things was like, I'm so focused on the game. So I just didn't even want to like immerse myself in anything else. I just wanted to have my mind directly linked to the game. I didn't want any outside opinion. And it's funny because I had a long drive to Red Bank, New Jersey, and on the way back, I was pissed off about Game 5. You know what I mean? I just felt like, when you got somebody on the brink of just elimination, you got to go put your foot on their neck. And we didn't show up in the second half. I know it was some bad Jalen Brunson fouls and all that, but when I was driving, I was like, honestly, man, this team has not given me a reason to not believe that they won't win this game tonight, the whole playoffs. Every time I've been like, you didn't meet the moment, the very next game, they meet the moment. You know what I mean? So I kind of gave myself some comfort in there. It doesn't change once the ball goes on there for tip. I was nervous the entire first half. But then once we started to separate ourselves and realized that, we had kind of punked the Celtics, for me, I was more on to thinking about the Pacers. But I do want to take some time to shout out the younger Knicks fans who have never been able to see this.
Yeah.
I really had to take a step back and realize that there's a whole generation of Knicks fans that have never seen a successful Knicks team to get to Eastern Conference Finals. And Malik, you know this, like back in the 90s, like getting out of the first round was a rite of passage. I never had to worry about a first round series. Like I was like, what?
First round.
Let's move on. Who we playing? Indiana? Charlotte?
Yeah. You think John Starks and them boys gonna go out like that? No, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're younger, you kind of take it for granted because we and Malik knows this too. We made the incremental steps. Like second round, we got to. Then it was the conference finals. Then we got to the final, and it was like, oh yeah, okay. Eventually, we're gonna get over the hump. And surprise, surprise, 25 years later, it never happened. You know what I mean? So I just want to give a big shout out to the Knicks for really changing the culture. Leon Rose, Jalen Brunson. I want to give a big shout out to Knicks fans who have been loyal. It is tough. The ridicule and the antagonistic nature of people who hate New York and hate the Knicks, it can really put you in a place where you ask yourself, why am I rooting for this team? Why did I decide
Do
to
you do you think that you guys like celebrated too much? So I mean, I guess we pass this a little bit to Malik here. Like, do you feel like I know y'all mentioned something about the young fans, and we saw y'all beating the Celtics. I know it's history with you two, as natural rivals in the Eastern Conference. Boston, New York, there's obviously no love lost in any of the sports, in between those two cities. But you got people celebrating the way that Philadelphia's celebrated winning the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? People hanging from fucking billboards and all that other kind of shit in downtown, climbing up light posts and shit. Like, do you guys feel like you're over celebrating a little bit? And you should more focus on this next series, or are you exercising demons right now? How are we feeling?
I think a lot of what you saw was young kids being young kids. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't see a bunch of like 50-year-old men out there going crazy. So I think a lot of that was like, what was that? 3 years ago now? We season opener against the Celtics, double overtime. It became like that viral video, side talk NYC viral video. And I think, because of that, people know like, oh, if you just go down to 7th Avenue in front of the Garden, like you could just get a bunch of people who either were coming out of the Garden or people who were just in the area who knew the game was going on and get them to act crazy, right? So like that just breeds, okay, I'm gonna just go act crazy. Now, granted, there was the watch party that was right by the Garden that was happening already, so you got a bunch of people out there. Matter of fact, I remember when the Knicks went to the playoffs in 21. First season they back in the playoffs in
Since Melo.
what? Yeah. What, 7 years? I think it was 8 years. And I was at game 2, leaving the Garden. I didn't go that way. I went the opposite direction. So I was
Because
on
you're
the other.
smart.
Well, no, because I wanted to go home. I said, let me catch this Uber. And the streets was clear on 8th Avenue. 7th Avenue was nuts, right? So, but like, yeah, I mean, that's a common thing. But I think a lot of that was like, one, it was like you said, it was young kids who'd never seen this team, do this before. And two, I think it was a lot of it was just like, oh man, like we can go viral if we act crazy. So like, let's act crazy. And some people took it too far. Like, I saw they was throwing stuff at that one dude who was a Pacers fan. Like, it's like, yo, come on, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like that's unnecessary. You can't, they threw garbage at him, which to me is like,
Yeah, like
that's
spiking
the
dude.
level of,
That's like spitting on somebody, honestly.
yeah. Like to me, like in all honesty, if I was that dude, I don't care how many people it is, I'm swinging on somebody. And if I get jumped, I get jumped. But I'm putting somebody in the chokehold. And if you stomp me out, you stomping him out too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what type of time I would have been on if I was him. As far as the like violent celebrations, I think it was perfectly fine because what people are downplaying and what I think is hilarious, we go into the series, and I posted this on our Instagram before we go into the series. Charles Barkley, they might get swept, right? Like even Stephen A. Smith, self-proclaimed Knicks fan, who I'm a fan of, but I mean, this man was talking about how the Knicks would go. He would just hope they would get one game, right? Everyone's saying like this series, they shouldn't even play the games. We go up 2-0 and they're like, oh, they got lucky. They missed a bunch of shots, blah, 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 right? We lose game 3, win game 4. Tatum goes down. Oh, it was because Tatum has got hurt. That's why y'all won the game. Guys, we were up 10 already.
Yeah, y'all would have won that game.
Yeah, no, I know.
False narrative in that game. Y'all
trust me, I know, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's funny, like all the way through the series, it was just like they just kept coming up with excuses. And it's like, if it was any other team to me, and I hate to be like, oh, everyone's against my team, but if it was any other team, people would have been like, wow, you guys just beat the reigning champions. Like, congratulations. That was a really great accomplishment. For whatever reason, people just wanted to kind of be like, well,
Well, I
lucky
think it's
path, whatever. But
you guys bring a lot of that shit on you. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. You really do bring a lot of that shit on yourself because it's a lot of it's not quite to the level of Dallas Cowboys. So I know I don't want to trigger you two Giants fans with the word Dallas Cowboys, but like it does get to be a little bit like for y'all to be as loud and boisterous as you are, you would think that the Knicks have like 16 championships or 16 banners and have won break. Like, no,
no,
you haven't even been to the Eastern Conference
I know you.
Finals.
It's actually crazy. It's insane for you to even say that with that damn hat on. It's
Right.
insane.
It's not, but see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, though, because like as a Sixers fan, I'm not that entitled at
you,
all. Like I
you,
understand,
you.
but what I'm saying, and I'm not even. I can't even defend like Philly fans in general. I'm not a fan of Philly all the way through. I am just 76ers. I'm not Eagles. I am not Phillies. None of that other Philadelphia shit is me. I like the Sixers because I like Diverson. But it's like it when you're dealing with Knicks fans, the sense of entitlement, the sense of like just and that part of it is just the city in general. But like it's just so much
Let, let-
in your faceness about it that it
listen,
feels better when you lose, even if you're not connected with the team that beat you, because we get to shut these loud ass annoying New Yorkers up because all they're gonna do, like, there's nothing worse for your eardrums than a New York City team doing well.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because I feel like okay. Hey, have you ever lived in New York, Aaron?
Fuck no, I couldn't last more than 3 days in New York.
Okay,
We know.
here's the deal. So I'm originally from. I grew up in New Jersey and went to school outside of Philly, but I visited Brooklyn every weekend of my childhood. My grandparents lived there. I lived in New York for 10 years, and what I did, and here's what I learned in that 10 years as to why New Yorkers are loud and boisterous. You have to be. You don't have a choice in this city. Okay, every single day that you wake up, you are fighting for space and attention. Every single day when you wake up, it's you're in an apartment, somebody lives on top of you, left, right, and the bottom. You're fighting for space on the stairwell. You're fighting for space on the elevator. You're fighting for space on the sidewalk. You're fighting for space on the train. Fighting for space on the bus. When you're driving through traffic, you're fighting for space. You're fighting to get noticed. And if you don't, this is a dog eat dog city. And if you don't put yourself out there to be noticed, you're gonna get walked over. Bro, you ever been in traffic and see somebody get cut off?
Yeah.
I've been that person.
And then the entire highway starts cutting you off
Yeah,
because the whole highway thinks you're
your
food,
food.
you're soft. And until you learn about aggressive driving in New York City, people are gonna walk all over you. And
I think
it's the exact
normal people would call it bad driving because it's
no.
like there's certain things that there are ways because I'm the kind of guy that one person gets over and that's it.
That's
Like
what you
we're in
think.
gridlock. We're in grid.
That's
I
what you
promise
think.
you, because I have driven in New York and in the surrounding area, so like I know what it's like driving in the tri-state and all over the continental U.S. So I do understand that from that perspective. But it's like I get that it's it literally is the concrete jungle. So like I get that this is more of a nurture type of thing. It's not innate and born in you, but it is something that is created out of necessity. Like I do understand that aspect of it. I have a lot of family members, that grew up really in the mean streets of Manhattan. So like I get all of that. But it doesn't make it less annoying. Like that's the thing. Like just because there's an excuse and a valid one, and very very like it's not like manufactured by any means. It's one that we can even be sympathetic to. It doesn't make it less annoying. That's like Boston and like the whole Boston everything. Same thing. They're just as annoying with worse accents, to be honest with you. So it's like it's not like it's just New York, but there's something about the fact that Boston has actually won a lot of championships, at least for the Patriots, and the Patriots fans are all like there is no dissemination. Some Knicks fans might be Mets fans. I know that's probably not how it normally is supposed to go. You're supposed to be like Nets, Mets, whatever. But like there is some internet connectivity between because New York has so many different teams in all the major sports. But with Boston, I don't know too many Celtics fans that's not Patriots fans. So because the Patriots have won so often, or because the Celtics have been in the finals so often, especially competing at the highest level since Jason Tatum has been on the team, they don't have that same in your face. Like when they lose, they were like, "All right, cool, we bow out." Like when they're winning, they're annoying to be around for sure. But when they lose, they know how to bow out silently,
You know,
whatever it is. New York,
you want to ask Paul Pierce about that, saying that
no,
we got lucky.
hey bro, you look. Paul Pierce is the embodiment of why I didn't like the Celtics growing up.
There, but
He's the reason.
so here's my response to that, right? Like I get all that about Boston, right? And those are valid points. The thing that makes New York different is this is a basketball city. It is a hoop city. Every 3 blocks in New York City, any borough you go to, there's a basketball court. Doesn't matter how you slice it. So the constituency of the city has had to deal with a professional basketball team, their professional basketball team that's been inept, right? But they love their team so much they can't let it go. So the moment we start to get a little bit of success, yes, we're going to enjoy it and celebrate it because the fact is we just don't know when it's going to happen again. We're not used to this right now. It's been 25 years since we've really seen any real success. When they're going crazy on 7th Avenue and 8th Avenue, this is years of pent-up frustration and just more relief than anything else, than happiness.
It is.
It's like, yo.
It seems like a release for you guys. And
we finally have a competent organization that's able to compete at the highest level. And it's literally, since we've had that type of consistency where it's been year in, year out, it's been an entire generation of kids who have never seen the Knicks in the playoffs. You know, so like the Knicks fans are going to be brash about it. They're going to let you know about it, and God forbid we get 8 more wins.
Yeah,
God forbid.
It's not going to be like I'm blocking Malik. Like it's just not even.
You don't got to block me, yo.
We might have to pick up. You know what I'm saying?
Block me too. Block me
you
too.
ain't got to block me.
Yeah, everybody getting blocked. You getting blocked. I got a whole group chain with. I mean, Tamar's a Mavericks fan, but everybody else in that group chain that I'm in with him, they're all Nick loud ass, Nick boisterous Knicks fans and everything.
Can I just say one thing though? I want to say this because you brought up a good point about like, and I feel like people keep making the like they make the comment, but it kind of feels like a side like jab like a little bit, like 25 years, like they should be celebrating because look how long it's been. Like the success that the team has had in the shout out to Tibbs. I got to give Tibbs credit, even though he plays his starters too many minutes, and Lord knows I was getting ready to run down to the Garden and strangle that man when he had the starters in up 30.
I mean, OG was in with like 3.5 minutes left.
Because Tibbs, what are you doing?
And I feel like they were all kind of just like, yo, why are we still like, they were playing, but they were just like, yo, what the fuck?
Biggest injury risk on the team, and he's out there on the floor up 30. Crazy.
So,
but put OG back in the game. Yo, I was literally beside myself, screaming at the TV.
You and Richard Jefferson,
bro. Son, like every 5 minutes, RJ was like, "Yo, like, I really think this is irresponsible."
My wife was like, "Why you keep yelling at Tibbs?" I said, "He has to get these players out now. The game is over. Maybe you feel like the game's not over." I said, "This is me talking."
Look at Philly a couple years ago in the Heat. Game was over. Doc left Embiid on the floor, shatters his face.
Well, he was going to do that anyway. Well, someone's going to happen to him anyway. Okay. But I'm going to just make this quick point. I'll make this quick point. I'm giving Tibbs credit because since he's been here, this has been like an actual basketball team that actually like has a identity, right? Like
and competence.
Right. And prior to that, like, even right now, honestly, I said this to somebody before. Right now, if James Dolan decided that he was going to step down as the owner, the same level of celebration you saw after Game 6, you would see that level of celebration because he's still hated. It's just that we love the team so much that we can ignore the fact that Dolan is still the owner. But he was the reason why the team was so bad for the past 25 or 20 years before they actually got good again, right? And I don't think people understand like how much it sucks when your team could be good. The owner is literally like the worst owner in sports. And he keeps stepping in shit. And then it's just like, okay, and you lose another year and lose another year. I mean, I was going back just looking at the Knicks records on Basketball Reference. I remember being at the Garden the year that the made the playoffs. I think it was 2003. Marbury was on the team, and they were under 500, like, and still made the playoffs. Got swept by the Nets. Like, I remember even then people were still hyped about the team, but like that team was absolute turmoil. Like that was the last time they made the playoffs for like or 8 years or something like that. Like they were in the wilderness after that. Like this team has been bad, not because like all the players they brought in were bad. It was just because the toxic environment around the team. And it's crazy to me that it just took Tibbs and Leon Rose, shout out to Leon Rose, to come in and be like, hey, maybe if we just make some competent moves, and, I guess Dolan maybe took a step back, whatever. But like it was a very frustrating time. Like I said, like you and people still showed up.
Sold out.
Bro.
Sold out.
Clay Anthony early, dog. Clay Anthony early. I can start pulling out names of players that.
No. I mean, like it's like you guys said. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's where I feel like a kindred spirit to you guys, because as somebody that went through that, and I'm still going through it, because right now it's like it just seems like no matter what the 76ers do, no matter who they bring in, it always seems like a year too late for that head coach, or a year too late, or maybe two contracts too late for that player, Paul George. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like every time they try and do something that would seem like a good idea, that's like, yeah, you're about 4 or 5 years too late on this person that you're bringing in, or this decision you're making. So to see you guys have so much pride and fought through it, because I was there and saw the pride that you guys had in that Knickstape team. That was me personally. I loved that team because I love J.R. Smith, because I didn't even know who Iman Shumpert was until y'all. Like, that was the benefit of loud New York Knicks fans, because all you hear was Shumpy. Like, who the fuck is Iman Shumpert? And I'm like, yo, this dude is actually, he a dog, you know? And then Carmelo Anthony's been my favorite player since Oak Hills. It was so great to see that team, and then where you guys went to, the depths that you went through, the dregs, and the years filled with promise.
Derek Fisher was our coach.
We're gonna get
Derek Fisher was our coach. I forgot about that.
You talking to a dude that brought in the Colangelos, who then traded the number 3 pick to get the number 1 pick and didn't take the best player in the draft. So I don't want to hear shit about Derrick Rose being your head coach when this is what I went through. Okay, it's never happened. Never happened for you guys. So until you trade the 3 pick,
let me tell you something. Sixers fans will never get any sympathy from me. You guys cheated the system for years.
How?
And called it the process.
How?
You guys tanked every year.
How are you?
Hold on.
How did the Sixers do anything that other teams didn't do? Let me land here. You guys, in the span of like 6 years, had like 5 top 3 picks and nothing to show for it. Literally cheated the system. Michael Carter Williams, 1 Rookie of the Year. Didn't hear a word from him after that. Then you guys draft him. Was it Okafor or Jaleel or
Embiid? Yeah, Jaleel Okafor.
It was Embiid was it was Okafor first. Okafor was first, and then Embiid. Yeah.
Then it was Embiid. Then it was Ben Simmons. Like all this. Oh, we're gonna tank, and then once you tank, you draft a player, and the player does not play in his first year. Embiid and Ben Simmons. You dudes were literally cheating the system to try to get as many great young players as you could. Hey, kudos to y'all. But I'm just glad that God didn't reward you guys with any real success. I promise you, because you guys didn't deserve it. Look at your face. Fix your face, Aaron. Fix your face.
It's just not true.
It's true.
For you to sit here and act like, okay, so the Mavericks deserve the number 1 pick this year in the draft. Like, what are we saying? Okay, what are we saying?
I would pray for Cooper Flagg. He might be getting some bad juju.
I mean, you can say whatever it is that you want about the 76ers, but they played the game. If the NBA didn't have like I have said this for years before the process even started, I do not understand the lottery at all. The NBA is the only major sport where you could have the worst record and not have the number 1 pick. That is why teams try and lose so often, because even if you don't have the worst pick, there's still a chance that ping pong ball falls your way. That's not how it works anywhere else. The worst team gets the first pick. That's how that shit works. In the NFL, that's how it works. And you see the parity in the NFL. There is 2 new playoff teams in each conference every single year. There's worst to first every single year. The The kid that went to Washington or whatever out of LSU, Jay Daniels, turned that whole team around with the number 2 pick. If Washington was in a fucking lottery and fell out the way the Wizards just fell out of the top 2 pick, and they would have ended up with the 5 or 6 pick, couldn't get a quarterback to change their franchise, they're going to be right back where they started. So if you would stop doing this stupid ping pong ball bullshit and just let the worst team, if Utah got the first pick because they had the worst record, it changes everything. You don't have to tank any more than the 1 year. You don't have to continuously lose and lose and lose and still charge people full price for tickets to come and see fucking TJ McConnell start at point guard. Like, you don't have to do that. Although TJ has made himself
don't talk
but
about
like,
that.
I'm just like these types of things that were happening. Like Tony Roten was in the starting lineup for us at times. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of times we had a kid from fucking Georgetown in our starting lineup. Like, when the last time a nigga from, like, Patrick Ewing is probably the last good player to come out of Georgetown. So, like, there's
Easy
not.
over there, brother. Easy over there.
I'm just saying, it's the truth. If you can name me one more, I'll give you $10 right now.
Allen Iverson. Come on, yo.
That's one. Allen Iverson. He should have been to Hampton. He should have went to Hampton.
Roy Hibbert.
Went to Hampton. We paid for his lawyer and then he ditched us. It's fucked up. But, you know.
Hampton ain't had no juice like that. Get out of here. You know where he was.
His lawyer. Come on, son.
Big John Thompson was like, hey, Allen.
He bought that big ass towel.
Right.
Bro, do it over to
him. So you got, Allen Iverson. That was a big misstep for me. But
you guys sucked. Is your point? We got it.
They were fucking terrible, and we had to be terrible in order to even get ping pong balls in there to even. Philly should not have had higher than the number 6 pick, and honestly, we didn't even deserve that pick. We end up with the 3rd pick this year because of fucking ping pong balls. The Spurs just had back-to-back rookies of the year, and they're about to have probably the most aggressive, and might even get a 3rd, because Dylan Harper is a lot more aggressive than Cooper Flagg. Cooper's the better player, but rookie of the year type of shit is where Dylan Harper will excel. Aaron, that shouldn't happen.
So, Aaron, let me ask you a question. I want to get your take on this, because you're a Sixers fan, but you're not a Philadelphia sports fan. Did it hurt to see the Knicks get to the Eastern Conference Finals?
No, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know if I believe that you don't care, but go ahead.
I don't care. Like, it's my disdain is for the noise of the fans who they're so entitled without a sense of entitlement. Like, it's one thing for Lakers fans to be obnoxious, right? Because of the history of the organization and even the recent history of the organization. Same thing with the Boston Celtics. Same thing with now the Golden State Warriors. Like, I get it. Even if some of those are more bygone eras or a lot more past than it is present, the New York Knicks do not have the history of winning in championships to afford them, the fan base, the amount of just like poison that is seeped into my eardrums every time I listen to a New York fan talk. And not just that, the accent drives me up a fucking wall. It's just, I can't.
You're from Rhode Island. Are you kidding me?
I moved because the accent drives me up a fucking wall. I can't listen to it.
Let me. I just want to say something because I think and this is what people don't understand about the Knicks and the Knicks fans. And I feel like this should be true for every team, regardless of who you root for, whatever, no matter the sport, whatever. The thing that Knicks fans have that a lot of people who root for their teams don't have is pride. We are proud of our team, and people think it's corny when we're like, "Oh, we love our team because they play hard and they dive on the floor and they do this and that." Like, there's a reason why Josh Hart, who I absolutely love Josh Hart. There's a reason why Josh Hart will never have to buy a beer in the city ever again. And it's not because he's averaging 30. Like, this guy plays his fucking ass off. He plays his ass off. The guys from the 90s never won a championship, but they are kings in the city. They're sitting front row at these games, and they're like on Celebrity Row. I mean, like, people love them. John Starks was on freaking Sports Center with Stephen A. Smith after they won Game 6, and they just going back and forth having a good time. He's never won a championship. Do you understand that? Like, people don't understand that the reason why New York fans love these players, they love these teams, they love this team so much, is because it actually means something. Like what's the meme where he's like,
it means
this shit
something
means something
to other fan, but like that's my point.
But my point is you're trying to say that it should only mean something if you win a championship. And I think that's what you're missing, is that for us, yeah, we want to win a championship, obviously, but we're not just throwing away the fact that our teams competed their ass off. They played really hard. I mean, yeah, we didn't win, but we're still proud of these teams. And I don't think that you should have to win the championship to be boisterous and say,
Dude,
yo, I love my team so much and nobody's better than my team.
No. You guys aren't the only people that appreciate your hardworking player. The New York does not corner the market on fucking hardworking players or admire. Like,
I'm
this
not
is
saying
what
we
I'm
do.
talking about.
I'm not saying
Like,
we
you're
corner the
we
market.
appreciate Josh Hart because he dives in the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Like, Philly loved TJ McConnell, a kid from Pittsburgh who played at Arizona, who shouldn't have been in the league, and he carved out a great career because of that. He was a dirt dog. He figured it out. How he got his shit out of the fucking mud, and we appreciated him for doing shit like that. The Lakers fans loved Josh Hart before y'all got him, by the way. So did the Pelicans fans. The teams traded him, not the fan bases. So it's like you're not even the first team to appreciate Josh Hart. So I'm not saying that, and it's not about just winning championships to make you appreciate those things. Like I said, the Knickstape team, y'all loved that team, and it was an indelible mark on the league at that time that you had that team. They had so much fun and brought so much flavor to the city. But my point is that this exact sense of entitlement that you're having right now to act as if, oh, well, the Knicks have just so much pride because they play hard for the city. Every fan base appreciates the players that lay it out on the line for their team.
And
Every
you
fan
should,
base. It's not
and you
just the
are
Knicks.
entitled to talk as much shit about your team when you love your team as you want to. It's not like we're out here saying like we're the greatest team ever and we won all these championships. We're just saying that we love our team. We're gonna root for our team. We're gonna cheer for our team, win or lose.
Obnoxious.
And there's nothing wrong with it. That's not obnoxious.
Nothing wrong with being obnoxious. It's just your fan is obnoxious.
How can you complain about obnoxious, loud, boisterous New Yorkers?
Get them.
But you have a ball every time you come here. Every time you come here, bro, Malik.
Because I leave after 72 hours, y'all. I leave.
That's on you.
72-hour New York window.
But you've had a ball, bro. Yo, Malik. I'll listen, dude. I walk into a random corner store in Harlem one day.
I'm familiar.
You're familiar?
I'm familiar with where you're at. Yeah.
When this dude saw me, you want to talk about boisterous? You want to talk about excited? Yeah. Mind you, I'm coming back from a concert. I'm a little lit, but Aaron was super lit. Yeah. And you're not going to convince me that being in New York did not have a little bit to do with your little loud and boisterous aura that
Shout out my niggas Corey and Jeff who was with us
shout
at the time.
Big shout out to Corey and Jeff. You know what I'm saying? They unofficial members of the city too. You know what I mean? But like,
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that a time is not. I love spending my little 72 hours in New York, and after that I gotta go because y'all are fucking annoying and it's people on top of people. But like, what I am saying is that y'all are obnoxious, and it's okay to be obnoxious. It's totally fine. When let Philly ever actually deliver on the promise of having a talented team or a good roster or a good coach or a good whatever, I'm gonna be just as fucking obnoxious in that moment because no one's gonna want to hear that I told you so's or this and that and I believes in a I'm painting my fingernails like Jared McCain and all that. Like, no one want to hear none of that shit.
Because Philly fans have been real humble for the past 50 years. Like, come on, dog.
Again, I'm not saying that y'all are unique in your being obnoxious. All I am saying is that
we have accents.
your obnoxiousness
is a little more expensive than
like if we're rating on a scale of 1 to 10 here on obnoxious, y'all are at about a 12. You know what I mean? And Boston is at 11. So like
that's crazy.
Levels of
and Philly got to be a 10.5. What are we talking about?
Maybe.
Y'all are 15.
Probably. I don't have to deal with Philly fans because I don't find myself in those.
You were an entitled fan base, Philadelphia?
How?
Bro.
Not the Sixers.
The Eagles have never won a championship until 2017, and they were talking like they were 1960.
Also,
you weren't even alive when that happened.
Think about how that city has
just didn't win
over the years.
Just haven't won. What do you want from them? All you're waiting for, y'all know this. All you're waiting for is that one up. That's all you're waiting for. That's what me as a Red Sox fan. That's what I'm waiting. That's what I was waiting for years. I was waiting for the one up. And now what do I say? Every time you bring up that stupid ass 27 rings that you weren't alive for type shit argument that you made, how many rings have you won in your lifetime? We're even. So I don't want to hear that ring shit. When we've been alive, we're even.
We're not
By
even.
the way, you weren't rooting for the 1996 Yankees team. You didn't even know about the Yankees in 1996. I'm sorry.
Bro, I was at the parade.
Not you, Yao.
I was at the parade, dude. What are
Blake
you
and I are
talking
the
about?
same age. You are not 7 years old rooting for Derek Jeter. Stop
I
it.
was at
Cut it
the
out.
parade. That's the reason why I am a fan.
What the fuck does that mean? It's a parade. You're a kid. Of course you're at the parade.
So I'm a fan of the team.
I'm at the Macy's Day Parade. You think I'm a fan
You
of
were not
Macy's?
at the Macy's Day Parade.
Come on, son. Yes, I was. I've been at the Macy's Day Parade.
Now you saying,
you ain't never been to the Macy's Day Parade.
Son. It's a little, come on, son. It's a little obnoxious, Aaron. I ain't gonna lie. It's a little obnoxious. Come on, son.
All right.
I figured that it would be a colloquialism. I could meet you in the middle. You know, you have to feel at home if I gave you the come on. Ed Lover. Shout out to Ed Lover.
I love how we've gotten so far away from the team that has brought us so much joy this season.
I just want to know if you guys, do you really believe? So we'll lead the subject with this, man, and we'll give each of you an opportunity to answer it. Whoever want to answer first, this is the question I want to pose to you guys. What is success for you at the end of this current season? What would deem a successful postseason? You'd already made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Can you lose this series and be okay if you won a game or two? Do you need to make the finals? What's success for you?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they got to win the whole thing, bro. You got to go get it. Because what I've realized, as I mentioned earlier, like the 90s were a thing where I thought that, you know, incrementally we get over the hump just based on time and increments. When the lane opens up and you've beaten the defending champs and you're facing a team that put you out last year, you know, there's all the excuses you can make to not go get it done. But I'm not of that belief. I've been on this earth too long. I've watched too many hours of basketball, whether it be for work or for pleasure. Like, you have to go get it done. I'm not gonna say it's an unsuccessful season if we don't win, but at the very top of my list, go get 8 more wins. Go get 8 more. Because you just don't know what's going to happen. Injuries, salary cap, all of it comes into play. You just don't know. If the opportunity is there, you got to go take it. So I will say getting to the finals would be a success, and the win will be at probably the cherry on top. But I mean, logistically speaking, they got to go get it done. Have to.
Malik, what about you?
The thing is, I totally agree. I think you have to win this series to feel like this season is truly a success. Because this is the team that put you out last year in Game 7 on your home floor. Granted, you know, whatever, all the excuses, players were hurt, everybody was run down. Like, you could say all of that, but to get through, I personally feel like the Knicks route to get to this point was tough enough, and they grew up so much in those, 12 games that they played, that like you can't go backwards. Like you have to build on what you did. So you beat Detroit, which was a really tough team that everybody was like, oh, Cade Cunningham, best player in the series, right? Then you beat the Celtics. You go toe to toe with the team that just won the championship last year. You're facing the Pacers, the team that beat you last year. You got to win this series, right? You got to make the finals. KC's really good. Minnesota's really good. You can't guarantee a win, but you have the opportunity to at least play in the finals. It means you're good enough to get there. It means you're good enough to win. But they got to get out of this series for sure. To me, that you have to make the finals. And like y'all said, cherry on top would be winning the championship. I think they have the momentum. I think you got to ride that wave. You got to do what has been working, and just get over the hump. Whatever you got to do. Like the way they've been winning these games, it's been all like, okay, like just make every play, stay in the game, make every play that you possibly can. I feel like that mentality is going to serve them well if they can keep locked in and keep focused. And everything else is copacetic in terms of health. It maybe if Tibbs plays somebody off the freaking bench, you know what I'm saying? Can we get some Precious Achua minutes? You know what I mean? Can we get
for what you wish for?
I wouldn't
might get
I mean, 5 minutes though. Jesus Christ, we're putting campaign out there.
Bring Landry Shaman in for 5 minutes. See if he hits 1-3. If not, take him back out. But at the very least, get your guys a little bit of a breather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't
You know what I'm
run
saying?
7
Former,
guys
former
this
Sixer.
many
Yeah,
rounds.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
you know, it's. I'm very very happy for you guys, and I want to see y'all go as far as you can go in this thing. I have no dog in the race. I'm not the kind of guy. I hate the Celtics, so I love watching them lose. But outside of the Celtics, um, I really don't have any dog in any race. When my team is out, I'm not the hater that like watches looking for every team to lose. Like I just want to watch good ball. After that, I just want to watch good hoop. Y'all been playing good hoop, so you know, just keep going, keep playing hard, and hopefully give me something good to watch. No matter what happens, I just want to see some good hoop. So hopefully we get that opportunity. Two very good teams. Let's get into hip hop, something that y'all knows very affectionately here. This is a topic that I am not super well versed on, so I'll let you guys drive it, and I'll just ping off of you for a quick minute here. So Joey Badass versus the West Coast apparently is something that's been going on for the past week plus. Malik, you the one that dropped this into the rundown. So why don't you give us a little sneak preview into what's been going down?
Yeah, I mean, coming off the heels of Kendrick just destroying Drake last year, you know, I feel like the whole West Coast, and then
Body
dropping
bag.
dropping GNX, like the West Coast was riding high, and I feel like a lot of people felt like the West got it right now, right? That was what everybody was saying, which 100% true. And I think Joey decided like, oh well, everybody's saying the West got it. You know, he came out, Rulers back, which I believe was that Conductor that did that beat.
Doctor did that one. Yeah.
And you know, he dropped that famous Jay-Z line, too much West Coast dick licking. And immediately everybody was just like, oh, he's sending shots at Kendrick, blah, 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 blah. Right. So, you know, guys from TDE, you know, different cats was throwing shots back. Joey was throwing shots back. You know, it was cool. It was tame, mostly. Like it wasn't really too crazy. But over the last like 2 weeks, shout out to Ray Vaughn from TDE. Um, he really turned it up. Like, you know, he was like, all right, if we're gonna do this, you know, let's do this. Let's get into a little battle rap. Like, let's, you know, really put the sport back into the game, which I love, right? Like that was my whole thing with the Kendrick Drake thing. Like Kendrick been calling him out, Drake took it too personal, and then tried to, you know, take it low, and Kendrick said, I can go way lower than you,
Go
right?
lower,
And then
right?
that became
Yeah.
a whole thing that defined that whole battle. But this one, it's really just been, you know, who got better bars, right? There's been some you know, questionable, like, hey, maybe this is a little personal. You brought up this, you brought up that, but like it hasn't gotten crazy, and everybody has essentially said we're gonna keep it hip hop. So the last week, we've had Joey drop like 3 songs. He dropped 2 in the same day. Daylight jumped in, you know, for the West Coast. We got dudes from the Bay Area jumping in. We got people from all over the West, and it's really just been Joey Badass kind of holding it down for New York. Shout out to
He our Scott Pilgrim, yo,
yeah,
versus the world in this bit.
shout out to Reason too, who jumped in, and then he kind of
Yep,
just threw
yep.
all of New York in it. So then now you have a couple New York guys, you know, jumping in, guys who I had never heard of, but you know, there's been some songs that I feel like have been really good. Like it's like, okay, we really rapping, and I think guys are really taking it personal. But as far as just who's sounding the best, listen, man, this guy Joey Badass is he's on a level right now. I'm not
He's
saying
on
he's
that.
on Kendrick's level, but this has been said already, so I'm not saying anything that's new or funny or whatever. But they might have to call Kendrick out
Yeah,
to battle this guy, because everybody else that's throwing shots at him, I mean, you know,
not enough. You're
it's
not big enough.
yeah, yeah,
Not good enough.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you spoke about it a little bit before we started recording here. It was like, I mean, you are the MC of this conversation. A lot of time, you know, anytime I have any questions hip hop or feel like anything hip hop, I hear, you know, on the radar freestyle or something, I always send it to you like, yo, am I tripping or is this really bars? So like, how you feeling about this the Joey Badass thing? He holding it down for the East Coast. How you feel about his battle?
I'm honestly very proud of Joey Badass and the way he's conducted himself, no pun intended, throughout the course of this entire thing. Like, um, I just read a tweet about a half hour ago that said J. Cole was supposed to do exactly what Joey Badass is doing right now.
Mm.
And I'm a huge Cole fan. I'm a
Yeah,
huge J. Cole fan. And I
love
like
Cole.
Joey Badass, and I think he's always been a solid rapper, but he was never really I'm gonna say cup of tea. But he's never a guy I had to go listen to Joey Badass, right? And then he dropped that Rulers Back track in March, and I was very intrigued because it just seemed like it was a different bravado that I was hearing from Joey, whether it was warranted or not, whether he deserves to have that spotlight. But there was some anger there. There was some FOMO, like, yo, why y'all leaving me out? You know what I mean? Like, out of this discussion. And the West Coast dick licking line really, really rubbed a lot of people on that left coast the wrong way. But to Joey's credit, he was ready for all the smoke, and it's been proven. He said it even on the line. He said, "I'm sorry, not sorry." Like right after he dropped the Rulers Back in March, he said, "Might delete later." God, you bet Joey won't. I will. I'm not deleting this shit. Like I'm here. I want all the smoke. Is what he said.
Right.
So, this past week, man, just impressive rap tracks. And like I said to you guys earlier when we were offline, I have never heard Joey Badass rap this well. I did not know he was capable of rapping this well. Like he's a style rapper to me. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna give you like a lot of
like ASAP,
kind of like ASAP, but there's some lyrical dexterity in these battles that he's been exhibiting that I just did not think he had in his bag. And it's been really, really interesting to see. I'm intrigued. I hope Joey has an album ready to go when all this shit is said and done. Because now,
you got to.
Now I got to hear it. Now I got to hear it. You know what I mean? I appreciate him sunning a lot of these West Coast dudes who, like Ray Vaughn. It pissed me off when Ray Vaughn decided to jump in the battle because it's like, yo, bro, you're youngin. You a pup in this game. You don't have any singles. You don't have any albums. Like nobody. The only thing you're really famous for is the L.A. Leakers freestyle. Like Joey has established himself. He's got albums. He's been signed. He's actor. He's on one of the best shows in our culture. You know, as it pertains to like Black culture, he's a star on that show. Like what Joey has done in the game of culture. I mean, Ray you can't tie his shoes. You can't hold his jockstrap. So I was pissed off, and I'm glad that Joey decided like, yo, you can't you can't fuck with me.
You cannot be in this fucking ring with me. You're not big enough.
Yo, you got go call your big homie for me. And he's been treating this entire battle like that, like with Daylight. Every time he disses any of these dudes, Daylight, Ass Chicky, Reason, he's like, yo, go call your big homie for me. Y'all are not in. This is not what y'all do. This is what I do. And it was like I said, it's been really impressive to see where he's taking it. Forget about this week. Just the entire, he's been very strategic in how he's done this. You know what I mean? Track after track, and it's like, okay, who is going to take the bait? And once you took the bait, he's literally washed everybody. He's washed everybody.
Bait the trap, and then I really appreciate, as someone who hasn't heard any of these songs, and I actually am after we're done recording here, I am going to go through it and listen to at least listen to the Rulers Back in a couple of.
Set aside about an hour for yourself because it's a lot of tracks.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to listen to a couple of these tracks because that's just one of those things. You know, dad life. I've been falling out of new hip hop and everything, but I love the sport of rap. I love lyricism. I like catchy songs. Like I am a huge Drake fan. Drake got a lot of run in my playlist. He still do. You know what I'm saying? I love No Kid. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a lot of. You get a lot of run out of here from me, but I'm a competitor first, and like you said, Malik. I mean, Kendrick washed him up. So, but like to me, there's a difference between being a fan of an artist and loving a genre of music. And I think there is too many people nowadays that, and that must be like a new thing. The kids like, oh, I'm a LeBron James fan, so they followed him from the Cavs to the Heat to the Lakers. Like, there's no loyalty with a lot of these youngins nowadays. You know what I mean? Moving all over the place. And for me, my loyalty first is to the genre, is to the game. So if you're a good artist, if you got something to say, like I had never heard of Simba before, right? Let's just to use a West Coast rapper, right? I saw the LA Leakers shit and I'm like, who is this nigga, bro? Because he's floating. And I don't know if he got into this Joey Badass thing. If he hasn't, I hope he does get into it. But like, because he's like that. Like Simba is really he's like that. So
like that,
that's the type of shit that I fucking love. I love shit like that. Now I've never gotten into like the trenches with it. Like you guys are from New York, so you get into like a lot of the battle rap guys, like the Charlie Clips and all those types of dudes, and Hitman Hollers and Conceited and like all those people. You know what I'm saying? And I know some of those names. You know what I mean? But like, and I can recognize like Loaded Lux. You know, I can recognize some of these people, but I don't know. I'm not into that lane. You know, I never watched Snack DVD growing up. That wasn't in my life. You know what I'm saying? I missed out, but it just wasn't. Yeah,
It was
it
definitely a
wasn't
time.
part of me. So like that's why I love the sport of this. I love especially when like a new generation of people are doing it and doing it in the right way. Because like you said, they're keeping it hip hop, they're keeping it about the bars. And it's like you can be respectful while disrespecting somebody at the same time. And that's what it sounds like is being done here, and that's what I appreciate the most.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing though, because you said Ray Vaughn shouldn't have jumped in, but actually I like the fact that knowing that you're not on somebody's level, but you still throw shots, it shows that you're not afraid, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
let me be clear. I want to shout him out for jumping in.
yeah,
But as an MC, I took on the persona of Joey Badass. Like, who is this little nigga?
yeah, yeah.
You know?
And but for him, he's like, this is who I am. You got to deal with me, right? And
You
not
got
like
to come see me.
I got to respect.
Right.
I got to
And I
respect
respect it from that standpoint. So I don't want to slight Ray Vaughn because I think he's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
He also has one of the better LA leaker freestyles that came out over like the last 5 years. Ray Vaughn had a really good one, and that was really like poignant. It hit. But like I said, just taking on the persona of how I would approach it if I was Joey. When I heard Ray Vaughn, I was just like, "Who do you think you are talking to me?"
I'm
You know
finna
what I
watch
mean?
this little nigga, right?
Right. So like I said, but props to him because Ray Vaughn has delivered some pretty exceptional tracks throughout the course of this battle. But Joey in that finals record was slapping him up, slapping him up. You know, a hit dog gotta holler. I caught a couple strays. Now I gotta push you on the collar. I did not know he had that. That's elite level rapping, yo. It
Bro,
is.
he had at least 12 of his 16. And I didn't hear the song, so I didn't hear the cadence. So I wish I would have heard the cadence to be able to appreciate it more. But I saw the bars written out because there was an Instagram post where they had it written out as part of a meme. It looked like, at least to me, at least 12 of them 16 bars was dedicated to that dog analogy.
Bro,
And it was fire. It was crazy.
He was cooking that scheme. I was like, yo, barking up the wrong tree, think you fucking with me? I was like, no. See. I said, yo, bro, you getting a little too crazy right here.
Dealing with a seasoned vet, you thought you could, you know what I mean? Like that shit, yeah.
All of it was, yo, bro, props to Joey, bro.
Yeah.
Did not know he had.
Listen, when you hear what's it called? Crash Dummy. That's the one, the most recent one that dropped where he sampled Hit 'Em Up. Listen, it's a slap, and he got some bars on there.
Like we offline we talked about. I haven't. That's the one track I haven't heard.
Yeah.
As Aaron said, I will be tapping in as soon as
soon as this shit is over, I'm leaving the AirPods in,
right,
and I'm finna go sit in the living room and take a listen to this shit because this is what I love.
It's loaded on my YouTube right now. If I share a screen, you will see it. It's right there, ready to go. So
man.
Can't
listen,
wait for this shit.
I just got to shout out because I believe the kid's name is Kai Cash.
Cash.
Yeah,
he had a good record. Knicks
and 6. But he said something on the track. He's like, yeah, we not doing no more of that drill. We getting back to the bars. And I was like, yo, I love that this younger generation understands like, hey, we could do the like, I'm just trying to get a hit thing here, like whatever's hot, whatever sound is hot. But like, if I'm from a city where bars is like important, and I need to represent, and this is causing these young cats to be like, I'm gonna represent, because
it's going to inspire this next generation of MCs. So like, you know, when I gotta come.
That's what I love, because the thing about the Drake situation, and I remember where I was when Not Like Us dropped. Right, I'm sitting in a lounge with Nigel. I was at dinner with like Nigel and my wife and everything, and it dropped, and it was like he had just dropped something else, and like we just sat down, and we're like, wait, is this the same thing or is this something new?
Everybody had the same exact reaction.
And bro, it was like mustard. I'm like, yo, he did not get fucking mustard, dog. And it was like you just knew from the moment you heard that drop, and like that to me is I'm beating you at your own game with flooding the market, and beating you your own game while you go low, I go lower. the petty shit, the artistry, all of that.
The hit song.
But it's West
So,
Coast.
yeah,
I'm not beating
really,
you on no Canada singing shit. This is how niggas from LA get down. I'm a nigga from LA. This how I get down. And for me, with New York rap, is like it got too much into like, yo, we can do this, because maybe y'all felt slighted as a community in the tri-state that hip hop has taken so many different avenues since we finally accepted Southern rappers, since we finally started to accept West Coast rappers and Midwest and all that other kind of stuff.
London.
Maybe you felt like you needed to branch out, but there was nothing wrong with the Genuine article, with the originators. And getting back to a sound where you can hear it or you hear a drop and you're like, yo, this is New York. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, is this just Blake? Is this Justin? Is Justin out of retirement making beats? You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that I really want. I want to hear something and be like, yo, this is East Coast. This is us. I don't want to hear you beat a West Coast nigga. Like, I'm sure the hit 'em up thing is great. And Tupac's technically from Baltimore, so fuck you West Coast niggas. But like, I want to hear something on the East. You know what I'm saying? Like, do some shit off of like, don't do Dead Presidents, but like, do something off of Classic J. You know what I'm saying? Do something off of Classic Nas.
Well,
not either though.
the one song he has with Lux did sample "Welcome to New York City" with Cam and Jay. So look, man.
What about 100 Guns, 100 Clips? Like, what about that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you get that synth coming off.
I mean, I kind of feel like when Kiss reperformed it at Versus, I think everybody needs to leave that.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard
because you can't
by himself, yo.
If Kiss never performed that record, I think it might be a go. But you can't recapture what Jadakiss did on that stage.
Bro, he by himself. He had Styles and Chic right there, and he was like, "Nah, I got it. It's me."
Jadakiss was far and away the star of the night. The star of the night.
Yeah, like that nigga was on a different. He was on a different planet that night, yo. He was on a different planet. They was not ready. They were not ready. They needed to come better than that. Speaking of not ready, going into our last topic of the day, RG3. Just, I'm gonna say it like this. And we're ex-cons, so we might have a little bit more feeling about this.
Yes.
Rob Parker was right,
bro.
So, you know what I mean?
Listen,
Rob Parker was right.
Look, listen. Let me tell you something. Were you at work that day?
I was.
Yo, bro. Let me tell you something, man.
I was.
Yo, I have to set the scene for you because this was my first take. At this time, biggest show on the network. You know what I mean? And Rob Parker makes a comment. Now, mind you, I'm in DC 3 on the third floor, and I'm looking on a small monitor, and I'm like, just said that? No. Like you're almost in disbelief, right? I walk downstairs to go to DC screening, just go visit people, and I run into my man Ernest. You know what Ernest told him? I'm like, you might know him.
I know the name, but I haven't seen I didn't see the face.
And me and Ernest look at each other. Ernest goes, "Yo," and I was like, "Yo," and that was like the conversation I was having with black people at ESPN throughout the course of the day. Like, son, did you hear that? Like, because I want to be clear. In our daily dialogue as niggas, this is just a conversation we have all the time. I did not expect anybody to say it on air. I did not expect anybody I knew to say. Listen, shameless plug. Aaron called me one day and said, "Yo, Rob Parker want to treat us to dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings."
I was there.
You called me.
He brought Stephen A.
And
he brought Stephen A. out.
And then Stephen A. walks in. So it was like that was the day I gained like super duper respect for Rob Parker.
Hell yeah, that was a sweet ass day.
But he's a real nigga at the end of the day. He's a real dude. And when he said it, it was like, so all of us, all the black people were just like, yo, I just hope he's able to last and like not get fired. And the end of that day, Malik, they suspended him. And then 2 days later, they said, you're out of here.
We're not picking up his contract. That's how they said it. It was like, he's not fired. We're just not extending his contract.
Right.
They buried him, and then they didn't pick him up. But it's funny, and for people who don't know, he called him a cornball brother on First Take.
Right.
Which
he said he was like kind of a cornball brother, to be clear.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Which was being nice.
He kind of stepped off it. Because we all know how the conversation would have went in that Buffalo Wild Wings. He a corny ass.
Corny ass.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cornball brother is the FCC Airways version of that.
Right.
and they still wasn't playing it. You know, they had to have a black person make that decision. That came from Rob King. But like, you know, it's the thing that Robert Griffin is doing here that is annoying to me. And Ryan Clark touched on it a little bit. It just seems like he pandering to the wrong people. And it's like, if your opinion, it's perfectly fine to have an opinion that you think that Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. It is perfectly fine to have that opinion. It's fine to have the opinion that on the basketball court, Caitlin Clark is a better player than Andrew. Honestly, I don't know anybody who would think to the contrary. But to say the things that he said and the way that he said them, it's important for everybody, especially my black brothers and sisters, to understand it's not the same when you're talking about our women. It's not, because the standards for our women, the pedestals that they have to be held upon just in order to survive day to day. You know, the things, the stereotypes and stigmas that they fight daily, and you're exacerbating that in front of your vanilla ass wife sitting in the background holding her Stanley Cup clapping like good nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
Bro,
What are we doing? Like, you can look in her face and see hate. What the fuck are you talking? Who are you talking about?
it was, bro, you know how you read something and you're just like, nah, he ain't say that. You know what I mean? And you scroll past it because a lot of these things happen in real time where I see it and I'm just like, nah, I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. And then it takes off and it's just like, yo, bro, like I hate, one of the things I hate, dog, marry who you want to marry, love who you want to love, but I hate black men that disparage black women. That shit is so self-hate. Bro, your mother is black. Your
Period.
mother is black, bro.
Full stop, bro. Full stop.
You know what I mean? Like, how can you look at somebody's face? Also, in the heat of competition, you can look at somebody's face and say, "I could tell she." Shut up, dog. This is why we don't fuck with you, bro. It really is, because like, what are you talking about? What narrative are you trying to push? And I'm really glad that Ryan Clark came out.
In the sport that you play, if somebody hits you after the whistle, what's the offensive lineman gonna do? Mostly white
Shut
dudes,
up.
by the way.
Right.
Offensive line, they're gonna throw hands. They're gonna push that defensive end that pushed you after the play. They're gonna try and jump. They're gonna do whatever, throw hands. What does Russell Westbrook do every time he or one of his teammates get fouled? They turn up. That's what you do. It's a knee-jerk reaction to something. And she's in the heat of passion, in the heat of battle, and maybe she doesn't like Caitlin Clark, or maybe in the heat of passion, she don't like anybody that's wearing the Indiana Fever jersey. And Caitlin Clark doesn't happen to be the one that fouled her in that moment. But like, I can tell you right now, when you're on a basketball court, if you're going for a layup and somebody hard fouls you, you're not gonna just take that sitting down. And not for nothing, Injuries is from Baltimore. So it's not like she just from some puppy dog area. It was like, nah, this is kind of like, it's in her. That's how she got where she got. She didn't get where she got being some finesse player. She played rough and rugged. She go and do the dirty work, and it's not a pretty game, but she made it to the pinnacle of her sport and her profession, and she's doing a hell of a job. And I think it's just a lot of hate, way too much hate. And the source of that hate coming from somebody who's supposed to love you, somebody that looks like you, who shares a struggle with you as an African American person trying to get along in this professional sports world. It's just disgusting to me to see that. And to all them corny ass niggas that follow behind them, you bitches too. Like, that's crazy as fuck. I can't believe that shit.
You know what the funny thing to me too, because so after the game, you know, that obviously they interviewed Caitlin, and I think somebody had asked her, you know, they kind of, I don't know if they asked her specifically about what RGT said, but you know, they alluded to the whole, you know, her Angel Reese thing, and she's like, "Yo, I gave a hard foul, like it's none of that." And I think what's really interesting about what he said, and about how sexist it is, that you can say that two players who are rivals since their college, you can say that one of them hates the other one because they got into a little bit of a skirmish that really wasn't even that big of a deal, right? But they got into a skirmish, and now all of a sudden it's hate. They can't just be tough competitors, right? Like, so
Draymond
it's
literally
like
kicked LeBron in the nuts, and none of this was said.
you don't respect women, nor do you respect women's sports if you can't look at them as equals when they're competing. they can be mad at each other and dap it up and be over it the same way that guys can, but you can't see that because you want to get clicks. And I think really that was the thing that, obviously we're doing this podcast. We want people to watch. We want people to pay attention. But there's a way that you do it that is palatable, and then there's a way that you do it where it's very obvious that you just want people to get your attention. And look, we're talking about the guy, right? So he's getting what he wants. But I guess he probably doesn't even really care. I don't even know if he believes what he said, right? Like that's the thing. This era of social media, sports, and all of that stuff, you don't have to believe it. You could just say it because people are going to get mad about it and talk about it. But please don't say, oh, well, I have black children, I care about black women and all this other stuff when people start saying that you clearly don't because you got your white wife in the background saying, yeah. They hate. It's
right,
like,
don't be posting pictures with your black mom after you just disparaged a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this is very Davis
please
coded.
don't trot out your kids.
I'm very proud of my white wife. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Crazy.
What? Like
was that Hubert Davis who said that?
Yeah, in his introductory press conference to being the Carolina head coach, very proud of my white wife. So it was, just as a Duke fan, another reason for me to hate them. But like, there is, for me, it's like, and you touched on this a little bit yourself, Yaw. Don't make dating a white woman your identity. Love who you want to love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. I have niggas that have married, that date or whatever, white women. I have no feelings for or against it. I love their white wives. You know what they don't say? I love my white wife. It's I love my wife. You know what I'm saying? I love my white wife. Sound like some
It's nasty.
You know what I'm saying? Some porn shit or some weird like it's some weird like fetishism type of shit. You know what I mean?
And that was the thing that Ryan Clark was getting at. He was like, yo, like, why are you trying to make her whiteness the source of who she is? Like, she's a person beyond that. And like, it's crazy that somebody else got to stand up for your wife's humanity before you do. Like, that's sad. It's like, dude, what you are literally a cornball. Like, you are the definition of a cornball. And the fact that somebody lost their job pointing that out before anybody else even really realized it for real. Because I remember when it happened, I was like, damn, that was kind of messed up. Like, you ain't got to go at him like that. Like, nah, he should have went at him even harder. He should have called him a corny ass nigga on live TV because that's who he is.
As it pertains to cornballs, RG3 is who y'all think Russell Wilson is.
100%. 100%. Yo, that is, I couldn't have said it, but that is a perfectly said,
bro.
Because it's like Russell Wilson, he's just a dad, dog. Okay, he's a nerd, but there's a lot of niggas dads that's nerd. He's the guy that tucks his t-shirt in his jeans and all that shit, like whatever. But on the low, that G-shirt that jeans tucking ass, Ned Flanders ass nigga stole your bitch. So like, you can say what you want, but keep
that's
it tough.
Factual. That is factual.
You know what I'm saying?
Stole your John, bro. Stole your John.
And she ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
She having kids at 40 for this man. So like, say what you want. Russie getting it done.
Right.
So, but like this RG3 shit, he's a fucking nerd. Like, I hate loser ass niggas like this, and it kills me that he's a black man that's such a fucking loser. Like, that shit hurts to my core because I want so badly to be just Issa Rae in it all. And I want to root for everybody black. But what is one of the first things that we learn? Your skin folk ain't always your kinfolk. And he is like, it's giving a lot of Uncle Ruckus right now in the whole way that RG3 has dealt with this whole situation. I don't even think an apology would do at this point. Like, I think the damage your
true colors have been shown, bro.
Is out. You know, all these tweets coming out with the milk of magnesia and all this milk shit with him posting his wife. I'm like, bro, 2%. You sound real.
He might as well do a show with Jason Whitlock at this point. Dead ass.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sure that's in the works.
It's in the works. I'm
sure that's in the works.
Podcast soon come. You know what I mean? It's that shit ugly, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna give that nigga no more time of our lives, but that it had to be mentioned. That nigga's a corny.
Shout out to Angel Reese, by the way.
Yeah, major shout out to Angel Reese.
Literally holding up. I mean, obviously Asia Wilson is doing her thing, but Angel Reese, Kayla, like they are propping the WNBA up on their shoulders with their popularity. Like, that, it's so weird to me that this has to continuously be a thing where it's just like, people are against her. They just hate her. They hate her because she talks. It's like, yo, and she don't let it bother her. Like, she's still successful. Maybe it bothers her internally, but she's doing her thing. Shout out to her, man. Like, straight up,
Yeah.
shout out to her. She's
She is.
awesome.
She's
I love
working
Angel
hard.
Reese.
She's a very bright young woman who has clearly worked hard to get to where she is at, as all of the women that are in this league have. There's no. I'm not trying to put anybody above anybody else in that because I don't know any of these women like that. But I will say is like it's not easy to get where they have gotten and to do what they have done. But to what you were saying, it's like skill is not what put the WNBA on the map like this. It was the new young talent that came from the NCAA women. And maybe it just took a while for people to start watching NCAA women, but like there have been good women's basketball players for a long fucking time. Go look at Cheryl Miller. Go look at Lisa Leslie. Go look at, Tamika Catchings and all these other people, Simone Augustus. There's so many names go on. Maya Moore, my personal favorite. So like there's so many names that you can put out there, but the W wasn't really doing the numbers that it's doing now because maybe we just weren't ready for it as a group.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The rivalry is a huge part of it.
I was going to say,
yeah.
the contentiousness is what really is driving.
Right.
And it spilled over. Right.
But the thing is, it doesn't have to be personal, right? It doesn't have to be nasty. When they played in college, it didn't have to be nasty. It was strictly like, yo, Caitlin is awesome. Angel is awesome. Angel beat her in the championship game, and she let her know about it.
She pointed and
Caitlin was like, yo, she won. She gets to do whatever she wants. Like, other people was taking it more personally than the players on the court, and that's where it started to get nasty. It's like, yo, man, like, it's about winning. They both want to win. That's all it's about, and that's what it's been about. They play in the same conference. They're gonna play each other 20 times for some reason.
And you, as fans, don't have to like Angel Reese. That's the beauty of it. A polarizing player is good for the league. If everybody just loves this player, it's not good.
Right.
Everything takes off when you got to the player has to make you feel something in order for the numbers to move. And right now, Angel Reese make you feel something. And so does Caitlin Clark. Make you feel something. And those are the only two, to me, that make you feel something polarizing. Now, there are other very talented players. There are more talented players in the league than that. Players that are more like Angel Wilson is on a different level than both of them, to be honest with you. But those two, in terms of popularity, in terms of bringing eyes to the sport, like you said, that's what it is, because you're tuning in to see what's going to happen. What are these players going to do? Something's going to go viral. Caitlin's going to make a 40-foot three. Angel Reese is going to miss 45 layups and get 20 rebounds.
Damn.
Like, I want to see some. Yeah,
45 layups?
I mean,
you mean 4.25
for itself, man. I don't blame them. Hey, man, Ricky Davis. I remember Ricky Davis for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Took an inbound pass, went to his own rim, missed a layup on purpose just to try and get a triple-double.
That joint was one of the wildest joints I've ever
seen. It was one of the funniest shits I have ever seen in my life.
Different era.
It was before LeBron. I think it was the year before they drafted LeBron James.
Year before they drafted LeBron.
It was fucking I have never seen anything like that in my entire life.
Nah, but like, where's Ricky Davis? I need to see Ricky Davis on a podcast soon, somewhere. Yeah, come on, man. We got some questions to ask. Not just about that.
Yeah, we need Rick. We need Ricky
coming up on all the smoke.
You know who we need to ask? I don't feel like it was asked enough. Because remember when they interviewed all them Cavaliers players after the Cleveland Cavaliers won the lottery, and it was like Darius Miles and Carlos Boozer, and they were all like, "Oh, you think some 18-year-old kid could?" Yes, yes, I do.
That brought from day one was like, "You're out of here. You're out of here. You're out of here."
Get on the bench.
Like, it's so fucking funny to like go back and watch those clips now and be like, yo, all these niggas really
with his soliloquy, like, well, I'm not really sure if any 18-year-old is gonna come to the league.
You know what I'm saying? We play the same position. I'm the power forward here. And
he's like, so you think he's gonna take my spot? It's like, yeah, buddy.
Yes. Yes, he is. Have you seen him play? Go ask Jordan. He just played him. You know, like it's just really, really funny to go back and look at that. But no, all that is to say, fuck RG3. So the last segment of the day, our favorite segment to go to is Dad Rules. Yeah, I don't know if you have a dad rule, but I'll start it out here just to give you some more time to think or materialize if you do have something. If you don't, it's also fine to say we don't got one. But my dad rule for today is take the peace and quiet when it comes. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be, you know, exactly what your kid's doing 24/7 and all this. Obviously, do not put your kid in a dangerous and precarious situation. For me personally, I just close every single door in a house, and there's only so many places that she can go. And I will sit on the couch and place my parlays or watch my podcast on YouTube or listen to some music, do whatever it is I got to do, clean up the kitchen, whatever it is that I'm doing. That's how I do it. And as long as I hear them little pitter patters going around and she talking to herself and she doing, then we good. That's the only soundtrack that I need. I don't need to be, Ari, where you at as soon as you out of eyesight. Take the peace and quiet when it comes, and you'll learn. Maybe it takes longer than it took me to realize this. But for new parents out there, it does not make you a bad parent to not always have eyes on your kid as long as they're inside of your home. At the park, keep your eyes on your fucking kid. You inside of your own home, inside of your own home, the comforts of your own home. Just take the peace and quiet, dog. Kick your feet up, relax. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your kid cut themselves. Don't let them burn themselves or no shit or whatever like that. But take the peace and quiet, dog.
I feel like relax is relative. It's like one of those, like, you can relax, like, kind of sort of, but then you kind of
You
really
can't fall
you
asleep.
still gotta
You
have
can relax though.
the eyes in the back of your head sort of thing going on. But I definitely feel you because I listen to many a podcast while my son is just crawling around or he's just in his playpen. I mean, I got a 10-month-old, so I'm still he ain't walking yet. So I haven't got to the level you at, Aaron, but
Future blessings.
I missed 10 months old. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. You used to be able to give once they start walking, it is you.
The walk to sprint is so much shorter of a gap than the crawl to walk.
Bro, it's
Crawl to walk seems like it takes forever.
and
Once
then
they start walking,
and then running.
they disappear, dog. Like, and it's funny because my daughter is so short, right? And she's not traditionally fast. And y'all knows this, I'm sure. Kids are always super slow when you need them to be fast and fast when you need them to be slow. Like, you see it all the time. You get out of the car and you're trying to walk them into school and they don't want you to pick them up, but they want to walk
Right.
serpentine.
Right.
You know, but like, let you be like cleaning something and your kid got the marker with the cap off and they standing 2 feet away from you. So like just far enough that you can't reach them and grab it. You're like, you try and walk up like it's a fucking lion in the Serengeti, like, oh,
they get
easy.
out like Barry Sanders.
Gone.
Yeah. Fatherhood is crazy, truly. If I have a dad rule, it's every snack that I get from my child, I have to tax.
Oh, you and Jerv, dad tax.
Par for the course, bro. Jerv said that last week.
Yeah, dad tax. He said it's a real thing.
Even though he's a Sixer fan too. Yo, but
why we're getting so much shade today,
bro? No, because the way, like I said, here's the thing about y'all: the ridicule that came from you guys during your pseudo run about the way y'all used to talk bad about the Knicks when Embiid was out of the first round and getting bounced by Trae Young. The way y'all used to talk about us.
That wasn't the first round, by the way.
No. Y'all made out the first round and you get bounced by Trae Young the second round. You get bounced by Jason Tatum and then the next year. And then you get bounced by whoever. Y'all doing a lot of bouncing over there in Philadelphia, man. You know what I mean? A lot of second round KOs, cannabis. You know what I'm saying?
You made one Eastern Conference Finals in 2 decades, and this is how you act. And this is why you can't have.
When's the last time I made the Eastern Conference Finals?
Before y'all.
What year?
We made it in 2002. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I don't even want to disparage Allen Iverson.
Tough.
How many times Allen Iverson been out of the first round?
Listen, we're not talking about. You're not about to. Hey, we're not. Let me tell you something. Don't do the I love AI and then talk shit.
Sometimes, listen, every now and then, a back
pick a side and stay there. You can't play both. That's your man's. Pick a side and stay there. You can't play both. Don't do that to Allen Iverson. You either love him or you hate him.
No,
You're
no,
not
no.
about to. I love AI, but fuck
Listen,
that nigga. Me. No,
I have a genuine love for Allen Iverson in the grand scheme
no,
of
you
things.
don't.
No, I do. Trust me, I do.
With the way you just talked about him, no, you don't. That's bullshit. You bullshitting
I
me now.
just said how many times has he been out of the first round?
That's a very rude thing to say about a guy that you have genuine respect for.
I mean, I just want answers,
It's a
Aaron.
weird way to show respect.
I just want answers.
This is
That's
kind
all.
of like when you say, "I mean this with all due," like this. That's a very Ricky Bobby
Yeah,
thing. I
well,
mean
with
this with
all due
all due
respect, there's
respect, and then you
definitely
say, "Fuck off."
when
You
you say
can't.
with all due respect, there's definitely a twinge of disrespect coming your way.
100% it's coming.
Right.
It's like, oh, and I have the ultimate respect for. No, you don't. Here comes some disrespectful shit he about to say.
Fair.
Yeah, he's about to violate to the highest degree, and he wanna soften the blow because at one point in time he rocked the Iverson jersey and he don't want to make it. He don't want that picture to come up. I think he
Nah,
just talk dirty about it.
nah, bro. Listen, I went to high school outside of Philly, bro. Allen Iverson he was that deal. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
It was a
So
god to them people.
I
It was a god to them people.
when I
Not just
the first
them
time I
people.
completed an Allen Iverson crossover,
Yeah.
I laughed for 10 minutes because I couldn't believe it worked. I just couldn't believe that I could do it. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
one of the more influential guys in my life. I want to be very clear. But, you know, when we talk about point guards, you know what I mean? Jalen Brunson, you know what I'm saying?
We're not saying Jalen Brunson is better than Allen Iverson. I hope that's not what we're saying.
No, I'm not saying that, but all I will say though is the goalposts keep moving. They keep moving for Jalen Brunson.
Nah.
They keep moving.
How?
Oh, he'll never be able to lead. Oh, he got to the Western Conference Finals. He'll never be able to lead a team to the Western Conference by himself. Boop. He'll never be a top 5 scorer in the league. Boop. He'll never be all NBA. The goalposts keep moving. So, you know,
The goalposts move for great players. Jason
Bro,
Tatum's never going to win the big.
Full stop right there. That's it. No, that's it.
That's what happened.
Cade Cunningham was a better player than him,
Bro, all that anybody ever wanted to say about Joel Embiid before that was, oh, he's never going to win the MVP. Joker's the best player. Then he wins the MVP, and it's, oh, well, he shouldn't have got that vote, or he was trying to play for MVP, and then look, it got him hurt, and all that shit. Like, that's what people do. They move fucking goalposts. That's how they feel. Half the people that are showing love for Bean, and, you know, God rest Kobe Bean Bryant and you know, all of that, but half the people that showed love for him post-mortem was hating on this nigga.
No question.
I was one of them.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
I was one of them.
I was one of them.
But
not like in that terms of way. Like it was.
We
like,
hate.
It wasn't
We
a sports
hated.
hate.
Yeah, I sports hated Kobe. Honestly, I sports hated Kobe because people kept trying to tell me that he was better than Bron when like
Not true.
Bron
Never
was
been true.
Son, I've had many of these conversations. Anyway,
who was better than who?
I was the Kobe LeBron debate is when I had
it was
to
Lamar.
like.
You can say his name.
That's my guy. That's my guy. I'm not gonna put it.
Listen,
it was Lamar. It's my guy too. He said it. I know it was him.
What is
I know it was you.
Say it.
I don't think Kobe can be in the GOAT discussion as LeBron is now. But when they were playing though,
yeah, of course,
Kobe was. I'll be very.
LeBron was 30.
He was actually 26, but
26.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
This is the first MVP years.
LeBron was
Like, this
great.
is
There was something missing in those early Cleveland years that I could not give him the nod of a Kobe, and then it all materialized in that first year in Miami as to why. You know what I mean? Like,
the second one probably, because the first one he still folded against Dallas. Like they was guarding him with JJ Barea.
That first year, that was the telltale sign. I was like, I can't get this guy not over Kobe Bryant after what I just did. Yeah, but as it stands now, I don't think we can even, like, LeBron's in the GOAT. There's 3 people in the GOAT discussion for me. It's LeBron, it's Kareem, and it's Mike. Kobe can't be in that discussion anymore. He just can't. Like, let's just keep it tall. He just can't.
He can't. But I will, I will say, like, Bean is a great player, and I don't make it about Bean necessarily, but like that, essentially that's what this is all about. Is like when people pass on or when people like move on,
when they retire,
all you remember is the good stuff.
Yeah, when they retire,
all you remember is the good stuff.
Bro, Kobe, son, I've said this before. That last game, I remember that.
The Achilles joint?
No.
The
His
60
career, his final game in his career. Best season of the NBA, to me personally, best season of the NBA in the last probably
Was that
20, 30 years.
2016 too?
2016.
That was a year, bro.
That game,
72 win Warriors.
72 win Warriors the same night. They won 72, and everybody was watching Kobe's last game.
60 points.
Let me tell you something, man.
He put what, 40 shots up?
That was the best game I've seen. One of the best games I've seen somebody play, because you knew who was getting the ball. You knew who was getting the ball. Like,
you knew it.
So I respect Kobe now, but in his heyday, of course you hated him because he was fucking dropping 61 at the Garden and making it look easy. And I'm like, damn, nigga, chill. Like,
no, bro,
slow down.
I
still doing it on Wilson Chandler. Relax.
I remember I was on junior ski trip weekend in high school when he dropped 81 on Jalen Rose specifically, and I remember watching that in the room. First feeling like a loser because I was like the only one that like wasn't in a hot tub or on the slopes or whatever it is, because like the game started to get good, and I'm like, yo, this nigga might score 100 points right now. I'm not leaving. Like, I was locked in. I remember watching that game being like, yo, this nigga is like, he's just on a different level. And, you know, to see that guy and like how his career and how his life just changed post, you know, when he retired and all of that, it was something crazy and inspirational to see, because yeah, like you said, like when he played, I was kind of like, yo, fuck Kobe, for real. Like, man, you know, I mean, very good,
average.
But like,
like when he was hating, you'd be like, I mean, anybody can average 36. Yeah. It's like whatever.
Well, see, my issue was always like, you know, I would always tell people, if Iverson was 6'6", he would be. It wouldn't even be a conversation. It wouldn't even be a conversation.
That sounds like something
about who was better. Yeah. Okay. That sounded really derisive. What you're saying. You know, I'm getting notes. I'm catching notes. It's fine. It's cool. I'm writing it all down, keeping it all, you know, keeping it all on the top. But that's what we did as Sixers fans, you know, because we was jealous that we would never really win on the level that some of these other teams are winning at. I was never alive to see my team win a championship for Philadelphia, so I don't know what that's like to watch my team win a ring.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Y'all gonna beat OKC? You know, are you gonna give Hartenstein a ring? If you have to beat him in the final?
No.
Approximate? Nah.
He left.
You know what I do hope though? You know what I do hope? If I'm gonna still say if, because I don't want to get too cocky.
Not for you.
As I said 2 episodes ago, Aaron, I'm a humble Knicks fan. I don't want to get too cocky, but if the Knicks win a championship, because we got Patrick Ewing, who's technically an ambassador for the team, works for the team. I think Allen Houston works for the team. He be kind of working for the team. I don't know what. I hope some of these guys just like they get like a complimentary, like, "Hey, you're part of the organization. You get a ring." I don't even. I think.
Here's what I'll say: if I was Allen Houston, yes. If I was
Pat don't want it,
probably no.
Yeah, Pat don't want it.
Well,
I mean, bro, the Pat had to deal with Mike and Olajuwon, and I'm sure it still stings him. Like Allen,
the layup hurts. The layup hurts.
I can't even listen. and
I know it does.
And that's why I'm so conditioned, because, bro, there's no pain. There are the two most painful things that happen to me as a sports fan. Is one, Ghana losing to Uruguay in the World Cup. I left work. I left work. With 2 hours left of my day, I left. Out. And then
out the door.
Right, I was out. I was gone. Also, watching your favorite player miss a layup with the season on the line. There's nothing that's going to be worse than that for me. So, like, all the ridicule that I received as a Knicks fan over like the last 20 some odd years pales in comparison to that moment.
To be fair, losing on a missed layup is way worse than losing to Cristiano Ronaldo at the peak of his powers. Like,
it wasn't.
I think you can give yourself.
It wasn't Cristiano.
It wasn't Ronaldo. Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that Ghana Uruguay game?
No, I remember. Was it the same World Cup where Captain America missed the set piece that would have tied the game?
Yes,
against Portugal.
Yes, but in the Ghana Uruguay game, which is in the quarterfinals,
worse.
No.
Worse.
No.
Set piece. Best player. Clint Dempsey. Best player in the team.
Aaron,
Point blank.
Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron. Let me explain something to you. In extra time, Ghana was about to score a goal. Kicked the ball onto the goal. Uruguay player Suarez, who I hate, is also racist.
He is a very dirty player, by the way.
Gives a handball. So Ghana has to kick a penalty kick. A penalty kick, not a set piece. A penalty kick. And the penalty kick hit the crossbar. We were going to win, and there was going to be an African nation in the semifinals of the World Cup for the first time ever. And we botched it. I don't want to hear about Clint fucking Dempsey ever.
Bro, we was about to beat Ronaldo, son.
Clint fucking Dempsey. Bro, you want to talk about an entire continent rooting for your team?
Damn. Cristiano Ronaldo was about to go down at the hands of USA.
An African nation was about to go to the semifinals of the World Cup that was being held on African soil. Do not mention Clint Dempsey, Clint Mempsey, Clint Hempsey. Get
Ghana in 5.
Ghana in 5.
To your point though, on the missed layup, that was tough. I think honestly, is gonna sound stupid, but it was actually worse when Melo got blocked by Roy Hibbert.
That was bad, bro.
Because it really looked like he's about to yam on him, and then he got blocked, and I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was bad.
That was tough. Because it's Roy Hibbert, you know what I mean?
I just felt like the writing was on the wall for that team because Tyson Chandler made Roy Hibbert look like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, Roy Hibbert was having...
He got his contract off of that run.
He was having the series of his life against Tyson.
Yeah, he got the contract off that run, and
league in like 2
never
years.
was the same.
Never, and that's
never the same.
So that part of it, yes, and I think also the cleanliness of the block is what really hurts because it was clean.
It was
like
spot on.
Ball, mellow.
Yeah.
You know, go sit down.
Yeah.
And it ended the season. And for all intents and purposes, I mean, ended everything for the Knicks for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Didn't even make playoffs.
Didn't make the playoffs after that for 7-8 years.
Well, it hurts when you trade Shumpy and J.R. Smith. It doesn't really help you.
Phil Jackson. Bro, we've been through some shit, man. Y'all tell us we're not supposed to celebrate? What? We've been
I love that we come full circle.
You see how y'all just excuse? No one said don't celebrate. No one said that.
There's a video on my wife's phone. There's a video on my wife's phone of the day that Porzingis got traded. How dejected I was. My wife trying to console me, brother. I have been through it all. You're not going to tell me how to celebrate. I'm gonna be outside the garden tomorrow at the watch party, at the Knicks Fan TV watch party. I'm going with my cousin. He's here from Ghana. He never seen nothing like this. I say, hey, bro, you better see some shit.
You better see some shit. Yeah.
If we win, Malik, I'm outside, bro.
Yeah.
I'm outside with it, man.
Yeah.
Outside with it, bro.
I respect it, man. I do, because like I said, I've been through hell and back with my Sixers. I will probably never let go that what is it, 2019 draft or 2016, whatever it was, the Jason Tatum draft. I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go.
Can I ask you one question, Aaron? Do you, if there's a player you can get in the offseason right now, all things being equal, and I know you're trying to get rid of Paul George, who do you want on your basketball team next year?
Cooper Flag.
Wow. You just want to start over.
If I'm being 100% honest, in my dream scenario, the Philadelphia 76ers punt on this whole Embiid situation, because what happens when you wait for a star who's clearly starting to fade is that you hamstring the present and the near future that you have. And by not handing the keys over to a guy like Tyrese Maxey or whoever you decide to draft with the number 3 pick, or if you trade it or whatever it is, if you're trying to be like, well, we can package this and get Giannis, great. Now you have 2 niggas that occupy the same space, another non-shooter on the floor. That's not going to help Embiid. That's what he needs. And then you're up in the air because Embiid is on the wrong side of 30. He's 7 foot, 300 pounds, and he's about to have his second major knee surgery in like 3 years. So, you know what I mean? Like it's not something, and I have the ultimate respect for Embiid. I think that he has been more than anybody could have assumed because he should have been number one in that draft, and he wasn't because of the medicals and what he has turned himself into, despite the fact that he still had some injury history and everything like that. He's still been an MVP in this league. He is still a gold medal winner for Team USA, even though he shouldn't have been on USA team because he's not a USA national. But he got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But, like, this team and what they should have been, like, Brian Colangelo and his motherfucker, like, Brian, Jerry, the whole Colangelo clan, fuck them forever. Because whatever you want to say that, you know, that the process did to this team, it could have been undone in that draft. Just stand put. Call the bluff of Danny Ainge. Be like, are you really going to draft Jason Tatum 1 overall when everyone's saying it should be Fultz or even Lonzo Ball? Or are you going to? Because, like, what was the purpose of you trading all of that stuff to get up to number one, to get a guy who didn't even finish the season with his team? Like, anybody that watched like, with your own two eyes that watched college basketball that season knew Jason Tatum was the best player in the draft. Harry Giles was the number one high school recruit. He barely played. He got hurt. That was always the bag on him as he gets hurt. Jason Tatum from February on was the best player in college basketball, regardless of class. And they went with Markelle Fultz, who I hadn't even fucking heard of before the draft process. I'm like, why is this dude supposed to be number one? I love college basketball. I've never even heard of this nigga. He's from the DMV. He's playing in Washington, and them niggas suck. He didn't even play the second half of the year.
I'm always weary of the players that shoots up the draft boards out of nowhere. I watched Washington that year. I thought they were solid. I did not think at all that Marcus Fultz was the best player.
You taking a Pac-12 point guard over an ACC guard / forward?
I wouldn't take any Pac-10 player over.
Period.
Big man,
bro. Pac-12 and Big Ten hoopers, like, all due respect to Draymond Green, like, since fucking Magic is like a no-go for your boy. Few and far between. Go look it up. Big Ten basketball players, not it.
Denzel Valentine, bro, let me tell you something, yo.
Nigga was getting balled up at the Drew League.
Bro, I have this thing. Now, when I was healthy, I have this thing that I like to, like, quantify with players in the league. If I think I can get my go-to move off on you, not can I beat you on one-on-one, not can I get it. If I can get my go-to move off you clean.
A little fader?
Whatever it is. Whatever your go-to move is. I wholeheartedly believe I can get my go-to shot off against Denzel Valentine. Because
yours is the fader, right, though? The turnaround fader? Yeah. Oh, you got okay. Yeah. This guy.
But I've played against a D1 players in my life who have been outrageously good. I've played against international players. I played against some guys who played in the NBA. It's a different level, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Valentine getting drafted was absolutely one of the most baffling things to me. I know he won Big Ten Player of the Year, but as I watch you at Michigan State, there is nothing that says NBA player about you.
Nothing.
Zero. You play hard.
Not the shooting, not the athleticism, not the size,
zero
handle, nothing.
You're playing in Australia now. You're like,
not even really hooping like that for, like, just go down the list.
Right.
Big Ten, but, like, find me one. Like, I swear to God, like, from the moment that Magic Johnson, like, outside, you got Draymond Green. Russell had, like, a little bit here and there, but, like, look at him. Evan Turner, trash, terrible. We already talked about Denzel Valentine, not very good. D'Angelo Russell, polarizing, however you feel about his career.
He's had a solid career, but
shout out to Mike Conley, man. Y'all
Mike Conley, though.
You know,
that's a big year.
I mean, he lasted a while in the league, but
we're not doing Mike Conley like that, bro. We're not going to do Mike Conley.
You see how I just skipped over Greg Oden, right?
You skipped over
that doesn't
same
count.
team.
Greg don't count. Greg don't count. Injured, like, I can't.
Jared Jeffries.
That shit crazy.
I'm trying to think of Big Ten guys. who are legit. Oh, you know what? Who's legit? Who's legit? Desmond Bain.
Where you went to school?
Where?
Wisconsin?
Desmond Bain didn't go to Wisconsin.
He didn't?
No.
Are we sure?
Yeah, let me look Desmond Bain up. I don't think he was Wisconsin. Nah.
Just throw out a couple Michigan guys here. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr. Who? Trey Burke.
Hardaway Jr. is like, come on. Desmond Bain went to TCU.
TCU, that's my bad. I stand corrected. Yeah. I don't know who I was thinking of.
No, you were thinking of Frank the Tank. Frank Kaminsky, also trash.
I was not him either. Yeah, I mean,
also, I just felt like pulling a Wisconsin ball.
Draft pick. Big Ten guys are good in college basketball. They're terrible NBA players.
They're not very good NBA players.
Duncan Robinson?
They're just not.
Nope.
Huh?
Nope, sir. Nope. Jordan Poole.
Oof.
Right.
Talk about polarizing.
Check your chin.
Talk about
Check
polarizing.
Your chin, homeboy.
Right.
Check your chin.
Right.
I'm not counting cups of coffee, by the way. You know what I mean? When you get ushered unceremoniously off the Wizards roster, you really don't qualify for this list. So, respected champion, major contributor to that ring, but not the Bobby Simmons special where you come out 1 year, you're good, and then never heard from again. Yeah, it's not really happening. But like I said,
your teammate punches you in the face, but yeah.
Steve Kerr got punched in the face.
Yeah, but it was by Jordan. It's different.
Fair. That's fair.
And he apologized. Like Draymond tried to make it seem like it was Jordan Poole's fault. Like, he punched him and he gaslighted him. Like,
I'm sorry. Yo, look, if I'm Steve Kerr, you got to fight me every day until I win. You not like every day. I'm talking like from the parking lot. What up with it? Every day.
To Jordan?
You'll be tired of me. You're going to have to trade me.
Nah. I think Steve Kerr understood.
It don't matter. I don't care what you think you understand. Like, you gonna have to trade me, dog. Like, period.
Nah, you got swung on by the greatest player of all time. I think you
just who he is. You're not about to like no. You don't get it.
I hear you on that. I do.
Like if we was on the team together. Shout out Abusement Park. And I don't even mean to say it like this, because I love Godwin. He's not like no. Like if you put. No. All that love out the window. If you fucking fix yourself to punch me in the face, you are fighting me every day until we don't have to see each other every day.
I'm not mad.
Every day. And then in the off season, I'm taking boxing classes. And in the next season, you're going to have to fight me every day again. And now I got training and it's really about to be up for you.
I'm not mad.
Every day. Like,
yeah. I respect it.
Yeah. That's the way that's got to be. But hey, man, we appreciate you coming through to the pod. Yeah, we definitely ran longer than we thought we were going to.
It'd be the banter, bro. It's the banter. Like when you're just talking with your people, I just looked at the clock and said, "Oh shit, it's 1 a.m."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta wake up in 5 hours to start my day. You know what I'm saying?
So,
whenever the princess decides to wake up, so it is what it is. I'm about to hop on the show and play a little baseball before I go to bed.
Oh, shout out to that. I'm about to go listen to some Joey Badass and get lost for a minute.
I got it queued up right here. So yeah, as soon as I get up with you, let me do that first and I'll play the show.
That's a fact. But yeah, man, as always, man, we appreciate everybody that listens, that tunes in to the podcast. We appreciate Yaw Geez, our guest, for coming through.
Yes, sir.
And validating all of our hip hop thoughts and this and that.
And our Knicks tapes.
Malik, and the Knicks tape. The humble Knicks fan for coming through and being humble as he is. You know, Malik, as always, just bringing the humble Knicks love.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to y'all Knicks, man. The episode is going up right before game 1. So hopefully by the time you guys see this, it gets you in the mood to watch a beautiful game. Or if you watch it after the game, hopefully some of the predictions come true. But again, we love and appreciate everybody for rocking with us. It's been another great episode of the No Rules Podcast. Peace.
Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6. You heard?
Yes, sir.
You niggas is unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
What? Oh, so we're supposed to pick against our team? Come on, man.
Too long. Listen, like I said, bro. Listen. What how the saying go? Prepare to be sick of me. I promise you, bro. I promise you. I'll be insufferable.